Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Ipswich Central Redevelopment Committee this 13th day of July 2023. Looking around the room, I can see that all councillors are in attendance except for Councillor Jonick, and I do have a leave of absence for Councillor Jonick. She has requested leave of absence from the Ipswich Central Redevelopment Committee today, and I move that be granted. We'll put the matter to the vote. All those in favour? Noting that's unanimous and carried. Thank you. I'll now move on to the acknowledgement of country. Ipswich City Council respectfully acknowledges the traditional owners as custodians of the land and waters we share. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging as the keepers of the traditions, customs, cultures and stories of proud people. Do any committee members have any declarations of interest in matters on the agenda today? No. There is nil business outstanding. So I will move to item 1, which is confirmation of the minutes of the Ipswich Central Redevelopment Committee from the 8th of June 2023. I will move that recommendation. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Milligan. Does anyone have any discussion or comments on those minutes? No? We'll put the matter to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you. Noting that's unanimous and carried. Moving on to item 2, which is the first of the officers' reports, and that is the Nicholas Street Precinct June 23 Retail Sub-Project Steering Committee report. Would anyone like to speak to the relevant council officer about that? I would like to ask some questions. Thank you. Thank you. Would you please state your name and title?
I'm James Hepburn. I'm Precinct Director for Nicholas Street.
Thank you, Mr. Hepburn. I specifically was wanting an update, I guess, regarding Collier's, our retail agent, and if there's any work been undertaken so far regarding venue.
Yes, of course. Collier's were officially onboarded a few weeks ago. We've had a good couple of sessions with them so far. A lot about strategy, looking at our gap analysis, which is essentially revisiting and identifying all the brands that aren't actually present in Ipswich, and then looking to see which ones start lending themselves to the space we've got on offer. We've also been comparing that back to, if you recall, the brain and poultry reports that we've talked about in the past and presented, that really starts to identify where the spend in Ipswich should go, and then how that would then interrelate with the way that we've laid out the precinct. We've also moved very much into marketing mode. We are looking to relaunch the brand Nicholas Street into the retail, leisure, hospitality industry in the early part of August. That will include a lot of social media platform usage between us and Collier's, as well as a new leasing prospective document. There'll be a videography showcasing our campaign. We'll also update the Nicholas Street website to actually include a bit of heavy lifting in the leasing side of things, where prospective tenants can download a lot of information relating to certain units. We'll be going to retail marketing exhibitions, and then really leaning on other news feeds of real estate, retail and hospitality. So bringing someone like Collier's on board has really spread our bandwidth across Australia in particular, and our reach to find new tenants.
So I understand from what you're telling us that the last few weeks have been spent bringing Collier's up to speed on brand Nicholas Street Precinct. but we will not be actively marketing or going to the market until August. That's still several weeks away. What will happen over the next few weeks?
So we started softly. We had another article in the Shopping Centre News, which was about 2 days ago, which featured Nicholas Street, the venue, and its most recent renders and images. It also announced that Colliers have been brought on board. That has already seen a flurry of activity on our own leasing@nicholasstreet.com email address. I won't say the brands as to not give away to competition, but yeah, the 3 or 4 good brands have already come through that. So we are purposely waiting until we've got all of our ducks in line and we've got the marketing ready to launch, because we get one chance at this, one chance to do it professionally and one chance to really make a splash in the market. So we want to do that properly, as opposed to what's happened in the past, being drawn out by COVID, has really sort of hampered our aspirations there.
Okay, great. I look forward to, seeing some of the prospective tenants coming through. It's very exciting. Does anyone else have any questions for Mr. Hepburn? No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I will move the recommendation that the Nicholas Street Precinct that the June 2023 Retail Sub-Project Steering Committee report be received and the contents noted. Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Milligan. Open up for discussion. I would just like to begin by, just acknowledging the excitement and the feedback from residents. This morning, somebody much younger than myself was likening the precinct to the Queen Street Mall. I'm not sure that we want to compare ourselves to the Queen Street Mall, but it is wonderful to see more and more residents embracing, and particularly off the back of Spark. Also, it's bringing residents of Ipswich back into the CBD that hadn't been here for a while. So. It's very exciting. Nothing else? We'll put the matter to the vote. Those in... Oh, sorry, ma'am.
Thank you, Chair. It's great to see another tenancy open, Bum Bum Bao, which is fantastic. I've only had lunch there once. It was fantastic, the Ben Mai. And also, obviously, Aesthetic is coming on board too. So it's great to see this just continue to progress. Delighted that Colliers have come on board. Like James said, now that the COVID has happened, we now in that position, we have Hoyt's locked away, we have the Commonwealth Hotel, we've got really quality, really popular businesses there. So it's great to see. Yesterday we had a tour. I know that you go there regularly, Chair, but that was my first time going through since the venue has actually been completely opened up. So it was very good to see that and see how big those spaces are and what's happening there. I also note, when I was looking through my Facebook feed, that the Rusty Nail at the top part there had a post saying that the last weekend was their busiest weekend they've ever had, and they've got a very busy weekend this weekend. So it's great to see the local businesses who aren't tenants of council. They're not. They are the other businesses around here are benefiting as well. We know that that's happening there. I also note too in this report that in May, that council received confirmation of the leasing exemption until June 2028, which is great. That goes through the state government. It's a very formal process. It goes through a lot of processes and procedures, but it's set there so that we can actually deliver the best value for the people of Ipswich. So it's great to see that this is going very well.
Yeah, that's right, and it's part of that wider governance that's in place for the precinct and the project and the quarterly reporting to the minister. So. Okay, if there's nothing further, we'll put the matter to the vote. Those in favour, noting that's unanimous and carried. Moving on to item 3, which is the Nicholas Street Precinct Brand and Activation Manager Report for June 2023. Would anyone like to ask any questions of council officers? No? Okay. Could I have a mover, please, for the recommendation that the Nicholas Street Precinct Communications Engagement and Events Monthly Report be received and the contents noted? Could I have a mover, please? Thank you, Councillor Kunzelman, and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Milligan. Open up for discussion. Nobody's going to talk about the dinosaurs.
I'm ready, but I thought you're the chair. I thought I'd let you go first.
The dinosaurs, who didn't love the dinosaurs? And we had pedestrian, numbers of 7,000 per day, which is just extraordinary. And almost daily, I'm a creature of habit. I head up to Dominique's to get my sandwich, and they were just delighted. The queues for the dino nuggets and chips, which was really great to see this activation spread further up Nicholas Street. So the private tenants at the top of the mall saw the full benefits of the activation.
It's just tremendous when you see that the daily, the record visitation numbers exceeded 7,000 daily. And I know when going down there at lunchtime, you just chat to people, and there was so many people from outside of Ipswich coming here and spending their money in Ipswich businesses and getting another and coming out to Ipswich they hadn't been for a long time or hadn't been here before. So it was just a really great thing to do. Obviously with Queer Switch, we had our very first Pride Festival in Ipswich as well on the 4th of June. So that was incredibly successful, a really family-friendly day. And I commend Pink Flamingo for what a great job they did with Arts Connect. It was a really great event for our community as well. So, yeah, it's great to see the community do all sorts of things, and embrace their space.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of what's been created here for the residents of Ipswich. It's a civic space, and we see it activated for families and all different groups within our community, which is lovely. And then we've just had the amazing Spark Festival, which has seen activations throughout our wonderful Ipswich Central. So that's just been fantastic as well. Thank you, Councillor Mulligan.
Yes, Chair, I just want to reiterate what was said by yourself and Mayor Harding with regards to the dinosaurs. The commentary that I observed, even from the extremities of the local government area and beyond our border, people who were asking a simple question during the school holidays on community groups, on social media. Are the dinosaurs still there? Because I haven't got to take the kids there yet. And the plethora of comments on there that were so positive, where other residents were recommending to them, you must go. Not, yeah, it's pretty good. You must go. You must see this. You must take your kids. It's wonderful to see that volume and the tone of the conversation amongst our residents as to the activation during school holiday periods. It is acknowledged within the community that it is building on itself again and again. What has happened previously in school holidays has been absolutely awesome, but people are saying that it's getting better and better. So I just want to add that into the conversation, that it's one thing for us to analyse and look at things and have an opinion and a view. It is the residents of the city who are speaking those conversations, and it was daily. As it was getting towards the end of the holidays, you saw that big rush as well. I was flabbergasted at the line out there to get into the children's library.
I know, amazing. And it is really challenging economic times for families. So what a wonderful gift to the city, to our families, some free entertainment down there. And you don't have to buy food. You can bring your packed lunch. Is an option for those families as well. So.
Yeah, so very well done to the team.
Dinosaurs versus Bluey. I would love to know yeah. Sorry, Mayor.
I was going to say, the only area for improvement that I heard from people was that there was so many kids there that the queues for face painting and the balloon animals were such, they were like, we wish we had more face painters, but that's a nice problem to have, isn't it?
Okay, we might put that matter to the vote. All those in favour, noting it's unanimous and carried. Moving on to item 4, which is notices of motion. It's a notice of motion, Ipswich City Council locally significant project. I might hand over to you, Mayor Harding, if you like, to read out this notice of motion.
I guess it's a joint notice of motion. It says the revitalisation of Bell Street be named as an Ipswich City Council locally significant project. This enables Council to actively advocate to the Queensland Government to expedite plans to address its assets, including the Ipswich Transit Centre, Ipswich Health Plaza, Ipswich Train Station, the awning over the pedestrian crossing, and the Bell Street overhead walkway to enhance the amenity, improve walkability and support public and pedestrian safety. I move that motion.
And I will second that. Open up for discussion.
Thank you, Chair. Speaking to it, Bell Street acts as the gateway to Ipswich Central and is in desperate need of renovation. Council has spent millions of dollars bringing people back to the city heart, and it's essential that we have an inviting and a safe entry from public transport to Ipswich Central. It is pivotal to the success of the whole area. There are major state government assets along the street that have been left derelict, and our community deserves to know what their plans are to demolish or renovate these buildings and structures. Local businesses that have invested and worked there and have wonderful teams there deserve to have this process expedited with a clear timeline communicated as to the plans for the revitalisation of Bell Street. The Ipswich Central Partnerships have been activating Bell Street with a series of working bees, public art and engagement sessions. The community have come together voluntarily to get something done. And I commend the work and the passion of the hardworking volunteers in the Ipswich Central Partnership. Today, Councillor Doyle and I are saying that it's time that we all step up and advocate for economic prosperity and social inclusion by fixing Bell Street.
Thank you, Mayor, and I obviously agree very strongly with your commentary, and would just like to add that hopefully through this notice of motion recognising Bell Street as a locally significant project, it's kind of a vehicle that our state, our local state members can use to their advantage when, you know, appropriate grant programs open up, or just simply getting some work done down there, like maintenance. So identifying and defining the area that is Bell Street, hopefully we can get some better outcomes for the city and for residents. I don't know if anyone else has got any thoughts on our beloved Bell Street and this notice of motion. No? Okay, we might put the matter to the vote. All those in favour? Noting it's unanimous and carried. No other items on the agenda, but we do have a matter arising, and this relates to membership of the Ipswich Central Redevelopment Committee. There is a recommendation that the membership of the Ipswich Central Redevelopment Committee be updated to note the resignation of Councillor Nicole Johnick. I will move that. Do I have a seconder? I don't think I need a seconder. Oh, no, we do. We decided it is procedural. Thank you, Councillor Kunzelman. We'll put the matter to the vote. If anyone else has got anything to say about it, no? Okay. All those in favour? Noting that's unanimous and carried. Thank you. And that brings us to the end of the Ipswich Central Redevelopment Committee and our day of committees. And we will close at 1:06 p.m. Thank